Welcome students to class 6. Today we'll start with our third chapter of history, from gathering to growing food. New was eating her favorite food, boiled rice, squash, pumpkins, beans and meat. Her grandmother had grown the squash, pumpkin and beans in the little garden plot at the back of her house. She remembered the food has been so different when she had been to Madhya Pradesh as part of a school trip. It was hot and spicy. Why was that so? So this girl is describing about her food, that she is eating her favorite food, but when she went on a trip to Madhya Pradesh, the food she saw there, means the food she eat there, was very hot and spicy. So what was the reason, means what was that? She is asking a question. Her question can be answered as we will read this chapter and try to understand it. So the reason is varieties of foods. Today most of our food, such as fruit, vegetables, grain, milk and meat, come from plants that are grown and animal that are reared. Different plants grown in different conditions. Rice, for example, require more water than wheat and barley. This explains why farmers grow some crops in some areas and not in other areas. Different animals too prefer different environments. For instance, sheep and goats can survive more easily than cattle in dry hilly environment. But as you saw in chapter 2, women and men did not always produce their own food. So as we are doing the continuation of our previous chapter, in this chapter we will be understanding about varieties of foods. That means our food can have varieties. For example, a particular fruit or vegetable is grown in the particular part of an area. So the condition is, on the conditions the food depends. For example, in the place where there is much water availability is there, then at that place rice are grown more as compared to wheat and barley, and for wheat and barley that it requires less water. So as the conditions are applicable, food grow according to that only. For example, like sheep and goats, they are mostly found in the areas where there is dry and hilly environment, and we can find any other kind of animals in different, means what the varieties of foods depends on the conditions in which it is grown or it can survive. The beginning of farming and herding. We have seen in chapter 2 that the climate of world was changing, and so were plants and animals that people use as food. Men, women and children probably observed several things: the places where edible plants were found, how seeds broke up stalls, fell on the ground, and new plants sprouted from them. Perhaps they began looking after plants, protecting them from birds and animals so that they can grow and the seed could ripen. So in the second chapter what we have learned, that the climate of world is changing, and that is why also plants and animals that are people are started using as food. Man, women and children, they started using several things, like now they are known that as the seed fell on the ground, it can sprout into a new plant, and that is why they started taking care of the plants and protecting them from birds and animals, so that the seed that is fallen down on the ground can sprout and give a new plant and get ripen. In this way people became farmers, and in this way how the farmers became. Women, men and children could also attract and then tame animals by leaving food for them near their shelters. The first animal to be tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later, people encouraged animals that were relatively gentle to come near the camps where they live. These animals such as sheep, goat, cattle and also the pig lived in herds and most of them ate grass. Often people protected these animals from attack by other wild animals. This is how they became herders. So it is a description about how the beginning of farming and herding was. It is the beginning of farming and herding. So as climate was changing, they started as they got to know that as the seeds fall down on the ground, they can sprout again and bring a new plant. So they started doing farming, and in the same way as they got to know that they can herd some animals and they can be used for different purposes like their meat and the dairy products they can get from animals. So they started keeping the animals, taming them. And the first animal that was tamed was the wild ancestor of the dog. Later on they started also keeping sheep, goats and cattle, and they used to put the grass near their camps and they started herding them. Can you think of any reason why the dog was perhaps the first animal to be tamed? This is a question you have to think and give reason for your answers. Students, the question I am giving for your homework, you should do it. It is for your betterment only. Domestication. Now let us go through the meaning of domestication. Domestication is a name given to the process in which people grow plants and look after animals. So what is the meaning of domestication? It is a process in which people used to grow crop plants and also look after the animals. That is called domestication. Very often plants and animals that are tended by people become different from wild plants and animals. This is because people select plants and animals for domestication. So what they are saying, that the plants and animals, they are the people, means the humans are keeping and taking care of them. They are different from the wild plants and animal. What is the reason? As they are selected for the purpose of domestication. For example, they select those plants and animals that are not prone to disease. They also select plants that yield large scale grain and have strong stalks capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grain. Seeds from selected plants are preserved and sown to ensure that new plants will have the same quality. So they are selecting a particular plant that gives them more good result and large size grain and have strong stalks, and which are also capable of bearing the weight of the ripe grains. And they also selected the seeds and plants that can be preserved and sown to ensure that the new plants can give the same quality. And amongst the animals, what they do, and animals that are relatively gentle are selected for breeding. As a result, gradually domesticated animals and plants become different from wild animals and plants. So in the same case, as they you choose the best, means the animals they are selecting, those are gentle to them. For example, the teeth and horns of wild animals are usually much larger than those of domesticated animals. You can't domesticate a lion. Okay, so this is just an example. Look at this two set of teeth. What do you think belongs to a wild pig and which is to be domesticated animal? This is a picture of the teeth of a pig. So they are saying that you can see that to domesticate which animal. Domestication was a gradual process that took place in many parts of the world. It begins about 12,000 years ago. Virtually all the plants and animals produced that we use as food today is a result of domestication. Some of the earliest plants to be domesticated were wheat and barley. The earliest domesticated animals include sheep and goats. So the domestication process was a gradual process that took place in the many parts of the world, and today the food we are eating, it is a result of domestication. And the animals that were domesticated were sheep and goats. So as now we are getting wool from them and milk from goat. All these are the gradual process of domestication. It was began about 12,000 years ago. I hope you understand the meaning of domestication. A new way of life. If you plant a seed, you will notice that it takes some time to grow. This may be for several days, weeks, months, and in some cases years. When people begin growing plants, it means that they had to stay in the same place for a long time, looking after the plant, watering, weeding, driving away animals and birds till the grain ripened. So, what is a new way of life? Earlier, people used to travel from one place to another, like one day they are living in a particular area, and after some times they move to another place. But what was the new way of life of people? They, as they got to know that plant, if you plant a seed, then you have to take care of the plant and you have to stay for some time, so that the plant they planted there, they can get the result of that plant. So for this they may take several days, even weeks and months. As they started to do farming, that means they got to know that they have to stay at the same place for a long period of time. Okay, and are not only staying at the same place, they have to take care of the plant by watering, weeding, and driving away animals and birds as till the grains ripened. And then the grain had to be used carefully. As grain had to be stored for both food and seed, people have to think of way of storing it. In many areas, they began making large clay pots or wove baskets or dug pits into the ground. So not only growing is the main function, they also have to store it for further planting a seed. So for that they also started making clay pots and wove baskets, and also started digging pits in the ground. Do you think hunter gatherers would have made and used pots? Give reason for your answer. Again, this is your question. Just think and answer all the questions in your copy. I will see. So what happened? What was their new way of life? That as they got to know that when they plant a seed, then they have to take care of it, and as it grow and the grains comes out, then they also have to take it as a food, and again they have to store for further production. So for all this they started making different storage like clay pots, and even they started digging in ground pits so that they can store it for long period of time. Storing animals. Animals multiply naturally. Besides, if they are looked after carefully, they provide milk, which is an important source of food and meat whenever required. In other words, animals that are reared can be used as a store of food. So as in the same cases of storing animals, okay, as they keep animals and take care of them properly, then they can provide them milk and meat. So they also started storing animals and taking care of them. Apart from food, what are the other things that could have been obtained from animals? What are animals used for today? This is the third question which is to be done by you. Finding out about the first farmers and herders. Turn to map 2 on page number 14. You will notice a number of blue squares. Each marks a site from where archaeologists have found evidences of early farmers and herders. These are found all over the subcontinent. Some of the most important ones are in the northwest in present-day Kashmir and East and South India. So, finding out about first farmers and herders, you can look at the page number 14, map 2. What you will notice? Number of blue squares, and each mark a site. Which site? On which the archaeologists have found an evidence of earlier farmers and herders, and these are all found all over the subcontinent. Some of the important ones are in the northwest, which is now presently in Kashmir, and in East and South India. To find out whether these sites were settled of farmers and herders, scientists study evidence of plants and animals' bones. One of the most exciting finds includes remaining of burnt grains. So, what happened? The archaeologists have found, scientists have studied in that places, and they found some evidences of plants and animal bones. They also found some burnt grains. These may have been burned accidentally or on purpose. Scientists can identify these grains, and so we know that the number of crops were grown in different parts of the subcontinent. They can also identify the bones of different animals. So, through the evidences by the scientists, they found some bones of plants and animals, and also the burned grains, which is the evidence that earlier farmers and herders were there. Scientists can identify. Okay, look at the table below to see where evidences of grains and bones of domesticated animals have been found. Go through the chart. Grains and bones: wheat, barley, sheep, goat, and cattle. These are all the grains and bones which were found in the site of Pakistan. Then rice, fragmentary animal bones. These were found in the region of Uttar Pradesh, which is known as Koldhiva. Then rice and cattle in Mahagara, which is in Uttar Pradesh. These are the grains and bones which are found in the following sites are there written. You can read, go through it. These are just some of the sites from which grains and bones have been found. Towards a settled life, archaeologists have found traces of huts or houses at some sites. For instance, in Burzahom, presently it is in Kashmir, people built pit houses which were dug into the ground with steps leading into them. This may have provided shelter in cold weather. Archaeologists have also found cooking huts both inside and outside the huts, which suggests that depending on the weather, people could cook food either inside or outside. So, what happened? How they lead to a settled life? As they started farming and herding, then they got to know that they have to store the food, and as they got to know that after planting a plant and keeping animals, they have to stay at the same place for more time. Then they started making houses. So archaeologists, who are the archaeologists? They are the people who search for ancient things and find out whether something is real or it is just a rumor. So they started tracing something about history. So they found that houses and huts are made in some sites. Some of the names are also given. In Kashmir, that is Burzahom, that the pit houses were made which was dug inside the ground, and they are provided so that in case of cold weather the people can stay there. And also what they found, that they were also found cooking huts were made, that for cooking in case of a very cold weather they can cook inside indoors, and in case of any summer season, and likewise they can cook outside. Draw a pit house. This is again your homework. Stone tools have been found from many sites as well. Then another kind of thing that they found is that stone tools they also find from many sites. Many of these are different from the earlier Paleolithic tools, and that is why they are Neolithic. This includes tools that were polished to give a fine cutting edge, and mortars and pestles used for grinding grains and other plant produce. So these are the Paleolithic and Neolithic we studied in our earlier chapter. You must remember. Just go and revise it if you forgot. So all these kinds of tools they found in many sites. So that they find from many sites they found the tools which includes polished ones, fine cutting edge, and mortars and pestles which are used for grinding grains and other plant produce. Mortars and pestles are used for grinding grains even today. Several thousand years later, at the same time, tools of the Paleolithic type continued to be made and used. And remember, some tools were also made of bones. These are the tools. Many kinds of eastern pots have been found. These were sometimes decorated and were used for storing things. People began using pots for cooking food, especially grains like rice, wheat, and lentils, which now become an important part of the diet. Besides, they began weaving cloth using different kind of materials, for example, cotton that could now be grown. So, as they moved toward the settled life, people started using pots for preparing food like rice and wheats, and they also started weaving clothes, for example, of cotton. So, as it can be grown now very easily. Did things changes everywhere and all at once? Many, not quite. In many areas, men and women still continued to hunt and gather food, and elsewhere, people adopted farming and herding slowly over several thousand years. Besides, in some cases, people tried to combine these activities doing different things during different seasons. So, still, what is the written? What is that written? That did it changed everywhere? No, it not changed it actually, but in some parts of the areas, still people are continuing to hunt and gather food, but they also adopted farming and herding slowly, and also they started doing different works, like in different seasons they used to do different activity and survive.